Dela Fotoohi is an award-winning and 5 times international best-selling author, podcaster, global speaker, and conference organizer and talk show host. Dela is an entrepreneur, a coach, and cardio kickboxing instructor, wife, and mother. Dela's professional life experience in caregiving to a person with mental illness puts her in a unique position to have some difficult conversations around the topic of mental health. Dela is a proud volunteer, facilitator, and presenter with Canadian Mental Health Association and speaks on caregiving, stress to bring awareness to much needed topic.
Welcome to Stroke of Genius podcast. I'm your host, Aaron Avila. Today's show is very special for me because I'm about to introduce you to a lady that is an inspiration to me. You know when someone finds a gift, the purpose, the calling, the spiritual reason for being on planet Earth. Dela Fotoohi is that person I'm going to be introducing to. And I'm so excited to have her and have you meet her. So here she is. Let me bring her on.
The Stroke of Genius podcast, hosted by brain aneurysm and stroke survivor Aaron Avila, sharing the experiences of survivors and CEOs. This is your destination for inspiration.
Hello, Dela.
Hello, Aaron. Nice to be here today.
I'm so honored to have you. Really, I am. I'm so proud of you. Amazing person.
Thank you. Thank you. It's my pleasure, Aaron. I feel the same about you, my friend.
You know, in the intro, I was talking about finding your gift. And you and I were talking a little bit about this in the green room. See, I believe what Steve Harvey's taught me, that everybody thinks it's a gift, a purpose, a reason in life to be here. And that gift is designed to impact this world. What you're doing, Dela, you found your gift because you're impacting the world. I know, I see what you're doing there, and you've impacted my life big time.
Well, you talk about finding a purpose, and you said it so right. It is a gift when you finally find your purpose. It is a gift. It's like you finally start living the life you were meant to live, and it's a good place to be, Aaron, for sure.
Yeah, I forget who told me, sometimes in life, we end up trying to push and prod and make things happen, and we're not in the flow. And I had a person tell me, he says, you don't have to push a river downstream. It will flow by itself. Let your life be part of that flow.
Yes.
And I started realizing, when you're in the gift, in your zone, in the gift, I am. It's effortless. We don't try. It just happens. It flows.
That's so true, right? And but that's something that we need to remember. And you said it so well. When you're going downstream, you don't really have to try. You don't. There's no resistance. You just have to really let go and float. and it, life is like that when you're doing things that are meant for you, and when you allow them to come to you, you really don't have to push too hard. You don't have to try too hard. Things just happen. Trouble is we're so much in our own head sometimes, and we want to do this and do that, and without realizing that, well, this may not happen because it's not meant for me. And it's just such a good awareness to have. What you just said is truly, truly amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's flow energy. It is like for me, I'm in near death experience. See, my brain aneurysm stroke was not my life changer. It was my near death experience. I had a spiritual awakening. And that really has been my main crux. But your gift is Dela's voice. And we're here to talk about your gift. And you have Dela's voice. Tell me a little bit about what you do and tell me your journey you've been on.
Well, yes, my gift, I feel like my gift to the world is bringing hope, and hope that recovery from whatever is possible, that wellness starts within ourselves, and I by information, inspiration, and motivation. I'm hoping that the people who are impacted by Dela's voice will do the right things, will make the right changes to live better. This is ultimately what I think we're all trying to do, and that's how we're playing our part in this lifetime. So Dela's voice really was meant for that. It was because just like you, Aaron, something happened to me and I had a spiritual awakening basically, and something hit me, a two by four hit me, and I discovered that I was not living the life I was supposed to live. And my journey started there, and that was 5 years ago. And I realized that I had so much to say, but I didn't have the confidence, and I didn't have the power. I didn't believe I had the power. And when I discovered that by learning more about myself and by strengthening my own character and what I was good at, I was able to finally have the courage to talk out loud, um, to other people about what I was going through and all the things I was thinking and what I was doing to overcome those limiting beliefs. And I figured, people are liking this. People can relate to a lot of the stuff I have to say. And then I thought, wouldn't it be great if other people also started sharing their stories, Uh, what was the most vulnerable part of your life? How did you overcome that? How are you overcoming those fears, anxieties, setbacks? Um, and if more people are willing to talk about all of that, then we can use each other's experiences and live better lives. Because most of us would benefit from not repeating other people's mistakes. That's what I think, anyways. And so I figured, if we can all share our experiences, we can make this a better world for everybody. And that's how Della's voice started. Really, just simple, just like that.
Just as a river flowing in that just flows. It just happens. There's
Yes.
no effort, there's no pushing the river downstream, it just flows. You give me a gift. And you get not only that, you and I run a very similar, we have very similar gifts. We give people a voice. So many times this world of social media, we look at every post on Facebook, on Twitter, and YouTube, and they all put on their pretty better best face again. And I look, oh gosh, you're so happy. Well, in all reality, it's social media. You're not seeing the struggles, the fight, the low points, the hard times. You're not seeing that. You're seeing them smiling on a white sandy beach in the Bahamas. And you think your whole life is like that, but it's not like that.
It's a mirage.
It's a mirage. It's a really good way to put it. It's a mirage.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's really a mirage.
Yeah.
But by giving people the platform that you and I do, we get to hear the real story.
Yes, and that's when people share their stories, there's a deep connection. It's I I have brought on a lot of coaches on my show, Aaron, people who have incredible teachings to share with the world. But the interviews that stick to people, that really speak to them, are the ones where the the guest is talking about their own adversities, their own life troubles, because that's what connects us. That's where, if I'm a viewer watching someone be really vulnerable and telling me, look, I've been in a really crappy spot in my life. I've gone through depression. I've gone through anxiety. I've had a stroke. I've had cancer. I've lived with addiction. I've um, been bankrupt. And through all of these things that everybody else can learn, okay, this is a really dark moment and I feel like I'm stuck here, but here's someone else, someone like me, who's been through this and they were able to come out of it. So first of all, I'm not alone in this because somebody else has gone through it too. And here's proof that there's hope, that there's light at the end of the tunnel. And it's powerful. This is powerful.
That is so well said. And that kind of back to what I was talking about earlier. That it's a mirage that people see on social media. The reality is, we live day to day. We go through that depression. We go through frustration. We go through those hard times. That's reality.
Mhm.
And God bless us for giving that platform to people so people can relate, because so much distance is formed by social media that our shows are needed for people to know they're okay. That's okay to feel depressed. It's okay to feel like hard times, go through addiction, whatever it is.
Yes.
So
Yes.
it's really okay.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. And there are a lot of people who are doing what we do, Aaron, and good for them, because you and I both know that there a lot of time and effort and energy and money uh, goes into making these shows happen, and most of us are not getting rich by doing these shows. Uh, that's not why we do them, right? If anything, we're really just doing them because we know it impacts other people and we don't care. Really, I don't care. I know you don't care. But here's the thing, is that um, people who watch these um, are far a few far in between. I mean, most people would rather watch, um, I don't know, celebrities fight on an island.
Yeah, right. Gotcha.
I'm you know, um, I I don't know. Uh, but I
Well, I
really
think I think what that ties into what it's like, they want to say them wrong. They don't want to face, but the real improvement as a person that people will experience is if they face that addiction, if they face that fears inside them, they face it and overcome it. It transforms who they are as people.
yes. This is what I was getting at, is that it and that's okay that not too many people are interested in watching shows like this. It's because they're not ready yet. And I think the message will find the right person who's in the right place and the right time in their life. It's whoever is looking for this message will find it. And that's what's important. Sometimes we can get really discouraged because you're working so hard and like you're looking at your viewership and it's like, oh my gosh, it's just not happening. I'm doing everything I can, and then you get discouraged, and then you get this one message from someone out of the blue that says, "Oh, Della, that show that you had about alcoholism, or that show that you had about addiction, um, just really spoke to me, and this is what I'm going through, and thank you so much for you
Oh
know
God.
talking about this." And those are the moments that you're like, this is exactly why I started
That's
doing
right.
this. And so it doesn't matter if it's a million people, or if it's like 100 people. It doesn't matter as long as I can help one person.
Oh my gosh, Della, that's exact. I had a spiritual mentor named Roland Takaoka. In fact, he believed in Search TV before he created it. He died of 6 strokes several years ago. But he always told me, he said, he always said, Aaron, you do what you love, someday you'll get paid for it. And, I love what I do. You love what you do. And the reason, the purpose, like I do the same thing. I don't know what you, but where I sit there go, I only got 5 people watching my live stream, and I get frustrated. And that's talking about the flow of the river. Our life is in the flow. We just sit in the boat and enjoy the boat. There is no wrong boat ride if you're going downstream, flowing with the river. There's no wrong boat ride.
Yeah.
So the one person now, speak to the one person, that makes all worthwhile right there for me too.
Yes. Yes. Ah, so good. I can tell you of so many times where I was in a dark place, and I was looking for a message, and I prayed and I prayed that the message would arrive to me, by some miracle. And I would open YouTube, and mm, I would start watching the random video, and I would get exactly what I was looking for.
Yeah, that's so funny. You know I love Steve Harvey.
Yes,
You
I
know
know
I
you
love
love
Steve
that.
Harvey. And
Steve
before
Harvey, come to
uh,
Aaron's life.
we're trying to use Steve Harvey. Della and I want to try to to us, and we'll be more than willing to be on the show together
Ah,
someday.
yes, yes.
But you know, I should find myself praying. I know it sounds silly, but before I turn YouTube on, I ask God. I go, okay, God, give me some, talk to me. Next thing you know, I'm watching a video, and it may be some other Steve Harvey always big, but that video speaks right to my heart. It's amazing. It's amazing.
Yes, yes. And and then you smile and you say, "You have a sense of humor, God."
It's true. It's so true. It's so true. But yeah, I'm curious, and I told you I wanted to find out at what stage in your life did you realize there's a point that you went from normal Della to what happened? What was the circumstance? And went to Della's voice. So there was a transition that occurred in your life. I've had to guess
Yeah.
that you realized there's something here. I have a gift. So
So,
tell me about what that was.
so there was like a 2 years kind of, I mean, I would think that all my life I've been trying to get ready for this moment, right? But there was a transition period of 2 years that I can clearly see and talk about as a part of my journey. Um, in March of 2017, I came back from a vacation, and I came back real sick. So now COVID wasn't wasn't alive then. I would have they might have had that as the cause for my illness, but COVID wasn't known then, or it wasn't available then. So anyways, I came home, and this thing, whatever it was, had me knocked out. I'm not a person who gets sick usually. I'm pretty healthy, and um, that was really scary to me, because the doctors couldn't figure out what it was. I made several trips to the hospital, and they just couldn't tell me what was wrong. And I was bedridden. All I knew was that I couldn't eat. I couldn't move. I was really, really sick, and I was just wasting away. And I was really scared because I thought I was dying. I didn't know what was happening to me. I just knew that this thing was, um, killing me. That's what I thought. Uh, on one of these days, I walked into the bathroom, and I had this urge of looking in the mirror And I looked into my own eyes, and they were sunken, and I had like black circles, and I was really thin. And then it hit me that this might be it.
Oh my God.
And in that moment, I thought, what have I done in my life? And I realized that I had wasted my life away. And I really, literally, I felt regret. And in that moment, I felt shame. And I was not a spiritual person, Aaron. I mean, I didn't have a really great relationship with my higher power. But when you're desperate, you always hang on to the one thing that you have, and this idea of God. So I looked up towards the ceiling and I just said, what am I supposed to learn from this? And then these tears came down, and I knew right away. So I looked in the mirror and I said, if I get a chance from this moment on, I will not take another moment for granted. And that was it. So
Wow.
I know it was really powerful. And I think the moment I surrendered, it was like from that moment, I got better. I got better. I got better every day. I got my strength back. And then things happened, like things started happening. I would get these messages and I would get these signs. And then one day, I was at my girlfriend's place and we were sitting on the couch, and she had invited her sister-in-law, and the three of us were chatting, and I started telling them how I wasn't happy, that I was not fulfilled, and I felt like I needed to change something and I needed to do something. But I have no idea where to start. So my girlfriend's sister-in-law, who happened to be there, she said, Dela, I understand exactly how you feel. I was like that too. I was lost and I couldn't figure things out. And I hired a coach. And I said, what kind of a coach? And she said, a life coach. And I said, what the heck is a life coach? Because if you'd asked me then, I would have thought life coach, like counselor or a psychologist or something like that. And she said, no, it's amazing, and she'll help you out, and she'll guide you, and she'll help you clarify things for yourself, and have goals. And so I thought, okay, I'm gonna call her. And then I called her, and that was the best thing I ever did for myself. Starting to work with someone who could look in from the outside and see all my strengths, and help me um, really clarify a clear picture of what the future that I want to look like, and what are my dreams, what are my aspirations, all these years I wanted to be a motivational speaker. I never did anything about that. Like all these years I wanted to write a book. I never did anything about that. All these things that I wanted to do, but I never had done anything. And this coach helped me figure things out. And that's it. My path opened, Aaron.
My
And it was
God.
incredible. I know. And this is what I want to say too, that, it's not like life was rosy after that, right? It wasn't, because something really big hit me just 6 months after I started working with my coach. But I was more equipped to deal with that incredible struggle in my life.
Dela, that was so powerful, honey. That was amazing. I appreciate making yourself vulnerable and telling us all about that because to me, the river analogy, you don't have to help a river flow downstream. That's exactly what we're all trying to do. If we all stop trying to push a river and just sit back and relax and flow with the river of life, the energy of life. It brings you to that place that you were at. That also opens up a realm of possibilities, big possibilities, because you now are an international best-selling author. Tell us about your books.
Uh, so my book. Thank you very much. I love my book. I love it because it allowed me to tell my story, and um, my
What's the
story.
name of the books?
Oh,
What's the
my
name?
it's called InJoyness, and it's a different take on the word in enjoy and joy. Actually, I've got it right here. Let me grab.
Yeah, but hold up the camera, won't you, please? And we'll be posting a link to purchase a book on the YouTube video on the enjoying this. Okay.
Yes, yes. So this book takes you through my journey of when I was a kid and growing up in Iran uh, during the Islamic Revolution and also during the war, and talks about living in an alcoholic home, and takes you through my journey of immigration into France, and then illegally coming into Canada with my mom and my little brother. And then how immigration really impacted me mental and my mental health, and also my brother's schizophrenia is also a part of my journey, and so takes you through my spiritual awakening and all the tools I used in my journey that has brought me all to this point in my life.
Yeah, we you talk about the journey. I said that word several times. Journey. I want people to realize journey is the river of life.
Yeah.
It is a flow of life. It is a flow of energy. That there is no wrong direction. Meaning, if you're hearing us, hearing the down last speaker, and then you're meant to. You're meant to be here.
Yes.
And so things that happen in life that sometimes seem bad like my stroke. We were talking about that earlier. My brain aneurysm stroke ended up being the tools of God chose to use. Gave my prayer, led me here to purpose. That is a flow. That is a flow. And I'm so happy that you wrote about it book. And again, it's in journals, put the links in the YouTube video.
Thank
But I think everybody, because you mentioned earlier that you always had these dreams of writing a book, being a public speaker. Now look at you.
It happens. I don't know
You have
how
to-
it happens, but it happens. It's incredible because you think of 2 years is not a long time, Aaron. I started this whole journey 2 years ago, and Della's voice started in the corner of my flower shop, and I used to bring a guest to my show every Sunday when the store was closed, and it was really amateur because we didn't have the right equipment, and we just used a laptop and my cell phone, and we did it. And then COVID happened, and now I couldn't bring guests anymore. I had to start learning about all this new technology, and it was really an uncomfortable transition for me because I had never been tech savvy. And so I had to start learning all these things. But look at now, I was able to bring in guests from all over the world. That that distance, geography was no longer a limitation, and COVID was not a limitation. And I think we've all had to pivot so much in the past 2 years, and the ones that have been able to say, okay, this has happened. I'm just going to go with the flow. This is a part of the journey. This is not going to be my entire story for the rest of my life. Like your stroke, Aaron, that's a part of your journey. You decided to make it a part of your journey, not all of your journey. That's only a little part, like a chapter in my book has to do with um, my addiction, or my dad's alcoholism, or my brother's schizophrenia, or my mental health. And so it's not, my life is not all of just all that. It's just a part of my story. And I think that's the difference between people, is when they make the decision to say, no, I'm going to make this a part of my story, and I'm going to use it, and I'm going to learn something, and I'm going to teach other people, and I'm going to use it to impact the world around me, as opposed to the people who say who choose to be a victim of circumstances, and who choose to believe that life happens to them, and then they get stuck, and nobody can help. They have to decide they don't wanna live in that space anymore.
Well, I love that because you just put into words something that I find I've heard, but never really been able to put words to. And that is not what happens to us. Is not our identity. It's not who we are. It's part of our journey.
Yes.
And so many times we let those negative or hard times or bad things make up our identity, and we begin to consume them as our total journey is not just a piece, just a chapter.
Yes. Yes,
You know,
exactly.
I think I forgot to tell you this is only a 30-minute podcast. Now I forgot to tell you that, and I'm sorry.
That's
But
okay.
I I hope you come back because there's an energy that you and I share. At least I feel it. And
I would love to come back. You asked me
I want you back. I want to talk more about what it is you do, and I really appreciate everything you do. But thank you, Dela, for being here. I'm sure I didn't mention a 30-minute
That's okay.
podcast,
That's
but
okay.
thank you
Thank
so
you
much
so much
for
for the time. Thank you for this time you gave me, Erin. It's always lovely to have a conversation with you. I love you so much, and I believe in what you do, and I know that you're helping a lot of people. And so to give me this opportunity, I feel blessed.
Well, I believe you made me cry. Oh goodness. But tell people how they get on you socially. What's the best way? What do you want them? How they get on you? What's the best way?
Well, I'm easily found. I have a website, delafotoohi.com, and people can find everything I do on my website. So all my podcast links are there, all my talk shows, and the link to my book is there. There is a nice little gift, a downloadable PDF there called uh, Triple A Success Formula. I think it's a fantastic little self-help tool for anyone who would like to download it and use it in their lives. So go ahead and do that.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I missed the PDF. I'm going to download it myself. But thank you once again for being here. I really do love you. I bring positive energy, boy. Thank you.
Thank you. Hugs.